the Dream to Real Picture Show. And now here's our host, Pat Fuller.
Our show offers you something that no other shopping show has to offer. Let me say that one more time.
You wanted to give your prizes here and that you were here for that great cause of anti-bullying. And there's no way that I can stand here and take all of that from you.
It's time to talk about Tic Tac Dough 90 for the last time. I'm serious. There's nothing left after this.
In a moment, the game that intrigued a nation. In a moment, the game of strategy, knowledge, and fun. In a moment, Tic Tac Dough! And now, our host who will guide us through the next 30 minutes of Tic Tac Dough, Patrick Wayne! Whoa! Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome to our show.
Widely considered to be one of the worst revivals in game show history, only recently eclipsed by Card Sharks in 2001 and Temptation in 2007, Tic Tac Dough's 1990 revival had a lot of things going wrong for it. Namely, its host, Patrick Wayne.
Kit Carson, you win!
Your Rapping Dragon.
During the bonus game, let me remind you what our Rapping Dragon looks like. Take a look.
Don't do, can't do, won't do. If you do, you'll be through.
Yeah, we don't want to see him again.
And various other changes from the original that made viewers cringe. Ratings were never really that good, having been dumped in overnight slots or up against better programs. So the brain trust that is Dan Enright decided that a special week was needed in order to bring viewers back into the fold. His idea would be one that was made better by Family Feud, especially in the John O'Hurley and Richard Karn eras. And his idea would sink Tic Tac Dough even further. How, you ask? Let me tell you. He thought it'd be a brilliant idea to have recently divorced couples compete against each other in some sort of tournament thing. It's time for the lowest point in Tic Tac Dough 90's history. It's time for Divorce Couples Week. You may know that I don't have the special week's intro, mainly because none of the episodes on the trading circuit have it. It's for the best. Anyway, Patrick opens up each show with what the special week is all about, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit, when we actually talk about the games themselves. Patrick actually spent more time this week talking to the couples and giving us some insight as to why they got divorced. Here's a clip.
So you were married, what, 33 years?
Close to 34.
Closer to 34. You must have some interesting stories you can tell our home audience.
Well, we've accomplished a lot in our years. We have 3 children between us and 3 grandchildren.
That's terrific.
And those are great dividends to have in life.
In fact, that's really what came between us.
The kids came between you. This would you call the root of the problem?
They were the best thing, and then it was the most difficult thing.
When they what? Just being there, or when they left the home, or what?
Yeah, we're being there. Somehow we lost our focus. We started focusing more on the kids and stopped, I think, looking at ourselves.
You feel that way?
I don't have to agree with this, do I?
Well, you don't have to. I see you looking at it like maybe this isn't the same for you.
Yeah, I was wondering who she was talking about.
How do you see it?
Sarad, I keep going back to Doris.
Hey, Doris,
That was the other problem. He couldn't think of me in my new image.
Ah, and for you?
Well, actually, I think men have a focus on business rather than family, and perhaps my interest on business combined with my family kind of left Sarad out in left field someplace.
Oh, well, that's very nice. That's very gentlemanly of you.
Patrick trying to be the best Dr. Phil that it could be is kind of interesting, because he sort of manages to pull this off. He actually makes us kind of interested in the contestants, and he actually makes himself seem somewhat human. I just have one question. Why didn't we get this when he was hosting 2 months prior? And while we're on the subject of dear old Patrick, he actually wasn't that bad on this week. Sure, he still came off as a fake a little bit of the time, but his demeanor had calmed down and he wasn't going overboard after a simple correct answer or a block. I'm inclined to think that after 2 months of criticism, he learned to finally be himself and be the decent host he could have been. But now we get to why the week was so maligned. The game itself. While the basic gameplay was left mainly unchanged, there were more tweaks made so they could fit in as many games as possible in this week. Namely, the removal of the bonus game. I thought this was a really bad idea. Namely because this was used in the special tournaments that the 70s and 80s version did, to give the eliminated contestants a shot at some money. I like the idea of getting a chance at some form of consolation gift instead of being told to kiss off. I just thought this was just being cheap. And also to add to the cheapness, there was no pot to the game. Instead, the winner got a flat $2,000. This was stupid to say the least, because out of all the games that were played, they would have earned at least $2,500. Out of the 8 games that I saw played throughout the episodes I have, none ended with someone winning less than $2,000 if they were playing under normal circumstances. And add to this, we didn't have second games being played for double stakes. Instead, we just had a best out of 3 showdown to determine who would win the game. And that's basically the only thing I found okay with this entire thing. The showdown category makes for a good tiebreaker, especially when they made it best 2 out of 3, so it's a little more fair. Another thing that they also changed was that some of the questions now became multiple choice. They did this in some of the tournaments in the 70s and 80s, especially for the over 80 tournament. I have no problem with that, but there are some questions that were just too easy that they didn't need the help of 2 dumb answers and the right answer. Just saying. Now, the main crux of this whole special week was what group would win more games, the men or the women. The winning group would receive $1,000 per game they're ahead. So after 6 days... Well, wait? I thought this was only supposed to be a week's worth of shows, and a week would equal 5, not 6. We don't need 6 episodes of this! I guess it's another reason to explain why Dan Enright sucks. Well, spoiler alert, the men won with a score of 9-4 and the 13 guys got to split $5,000. Mainly they each got about $380 each. Lame. Anyway, the money moment comes of this entire thing when Patrick gives his ending spiel. Here it is, unedited.
I hope you all enjoyed our tournament of ex-husbands playing against their ex-wives. It proved to be an exciting contest which shows that divorced couples can still have fun together, right? Right, okay.
He's an ass. And he's dumb. He's a dumbass.
What the fuck were you thinking, Wayne? One of the reasons that many of these couples got divorced because they had the fun that they are not supposed to have during the divorce or during the marriage, you idiot. This week was a disaster. The truncated gameplay was terrible, the cheap payouts made it unbearable at points, and Patrick's line at the end was so idiotic you'd think it originated from Sean Hannity. Tic Tac Dough wouldn't last that much longer and be cancelled in March of 1991. As for Wayne, he continued acting in movies for a few years before retiring in 1997. And thus, the career of Dan Enright is over. He never had a successful show on his own when he wasn't paired up with Jack Barry. I can think of the gracious words of Red Foreman as to why he didn't.
The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Truer words were never spoken. Red Foreman, you are a saint. It's time for me to check the mail. See you in a bit.
You win!
Well, I got a package. Let's see what's in it.